We're here today to participate in a signing ceremony of an MOU between the Ministry of Agriculture, where the government of Saint Lucia represented by the Ministry of Agriculture, and the government of Cuba, represented by the ambassador to Cuba. This MOU, just to give you a very brief history, last year, the minister was invited to Cuba to meet with the Ministry of Agriculture so that we can, determine what assistance Cuba could have been provided to Saint Lucia through technical assistance. It was not possible to go last year, but we were able to go to Cuba this year. And the team comprised of a team, Ms. Hannah Romain, who is here with us today, from research, our research division, myself as a PS, and the minister. There we met several agencies involved in agriculture and also involved in water. And based on the discussions with these agencies, we were able to put together a memorandum of assistance from Cuba with those agencies and the Ministry of Agriculture. So the MOU spells out the areas of assistance between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Agriculture in Cuba. So it is basically the formal signing ceremony between ourselves and the ambassador to make that cooperation, formalized. So without further ado, I'd like to call on the ambassador just to give us a few remarks.
First of all, thank you very much to all that are present, in particular, first and foremost, the Honorable Minister Ezequiel Joseph here, Permanent Secretary, representatives of this very, very important ministry in Saint Lucia, and congratulations to each and all of you, to the Honorable Minister, to his very hard-working team, to have reached this moment. This is an important moment for putting the relations between our countries to work in the benefit of our peoples. Both in Cuba and in Saint Lucia, agriculture is a priority. And I would like also to recognize the efforts and the results obtained by the government of Saint Lucia in developing agriculture and related areas here in Saint Lucia. In that regard, we are very happy to have had a technical discussion with the Honorable Minister and the Ministry staff in order to identify areas that allows our countries to strengthen the agricultural sector. Now, we know that both Cuba and Saint Lucia, we are Caribbean islands, but we are also developing islands, and we are also among those countries of the world that had to face several vulnerabilities because of the effects of climate change and many other challenges that we face. So in order to continue the path of development of our countries, we need to strengthen our exchange, our cooperation, our discussions, our joint efforts in the area of agriculture. But it's not only that. Agriculture and everything that is related to it, as we all know very well, both in Cuba and in Saint Lucia, it comes with many benefits for our peoples, for our communities, for achieving countries that are more resilient when it comes to all these phenomena naturally that we have to face. And it also strengthens our economies, and it also contributes, it's an important contribution also to healthy lifestyles. So we are talking about nutrition, we are talking about food security, we are talking about many things without which we cannot conceive a better life for our countries and our peoples, and without which we cannot conceive development as we understand it to be for our countries. So there is, in the past, there were some actions in the past between Cuba and Saint Lucia in the area of agriculture, but we are bringing this joint effort to a new level, comprehensive, that will allow us to share knowledge, scientific knowledge, and to evaluate which are the best ways to move forward when it comes to the goals that we have in the area of agriculture. So we very much look forward to a successful implementation of the areas that we have stated in the agreement. It is an important agreement for our countries, And finally, I would like to say again, congratulations and all our recognition to Honorable Minister Ezequiel Joseph, Government of Saint Lucia, and also the staff, the ministry, and all those involved in making this joint effort between our peoples come to fruition in a manner that we are sure is going to bring benefits for all of us. Thank you very much.
I want to recognize Ambassador Soberon, my deputy PS, the respective heads in the Ministry of Agriculture, staff members from the Embassy of Cuba. I don't think there's much I have to say because Ambassador and PS have said it all. Just for me to sign the MOU and let's get work started. But I would want to at least give some indication as to follow up from where PS concluded as to some of the main agreements that we are going to be signing here today as it pertains to working together with the government through the Ministry of Agriculture in Cuba. Like PS said, we went up based on an invitation from Ambassador Soberon, and I'm happy to say that today we are here concluding at least the first leg of that mission, because it was your initiative that encouraged me to really see the need to go to Cuba and to interact with some of the major organizations in Cuba as it pertains to agriculture. And missing in the team, PS, was our chief vet, Dr. King, who was a member of that team. Coming back from that visit, I expressed my appreciation to Ambassador Soberon for encouraging me to make that trip because it's a very beneficial trip. And of course, as anything else, you have seen on a number of occasions where people make trips and there's no follow-up. And I must say that coming from Cuba, it was always our intention to have this MOU signed as early as possible. And the reason I'm saying that, because I don't know if you're aware, but very soon, unfortunately, Ambassador Soberon will be returning to Cuba, all right? And I'm very happy that even before he leaves, that he is the one finalizing the first leg of that agreement. And like you said, Ambassador, you're hoping to see the successful implementation of whatever we're going to sign here today. And I'm hoping that in your new role in Cuba, you'll continue to give the support that is required for the successful implementation of the work that we have started. Generally, we agreed in the MOU that there's need for us to collaborate with Cuba and the whole aspect of crop production. Like we all know, we are being challenged right now as it pertains to the utilization of healthier products. And you would realize I don't say chemicals. And I'm sure Hannah would like me not to use the word chemicals. Healthier products in the production of our food chain. We just saw recently what happened in the US, and we're all aware of what's transpired in St. Vincent. And the call has been made now even more for us to engage in our farmers in the utilization of healthier products as it pertains to the production of food for the utilization by all St. Lucians. I can say based on our visit, we were very impressed as to what we were exposed to in Cuba. And we believe that there are opportunities for us to learn from the Cuba experience as it pertains to demonstrating a number of these products that have been utilized in Cuba. We have been challenged with the citrus green. All of us who are involved in agriculture would appreciate that right now citrus is on the decline, and there's need for us to really see how we can reintroduce new varieties, new technologies as it pertains to the production of citrus, especially knowing that we are very heavy when it comes to a tourism advancement, pushing the tourism industry, so we have to feed our people. The whole aspect of irrigation is another aspect that we learned a lot from. And I'm saying this because most times we go to the more developed countries to look for technology. And in the region, I mean, when you look at what's happening to Cuba, Cuba has the same environment, the same culture as it pertains to us. So why? And it's a question of adopting technology to suit our conditions, and it has been done in Cuba. So I was very much impressed to see the type of irrigation that is taking place knowing that right now we have been faced with climate change. If it's not heavy rains, it's drought. If it's not drought, it's flood, it's wind, like we experienced last week. So there's really need for us to revisit our agriculture, and there's a lot happening in Cuba that we believe we can learn from. I want to say that I'm really looking forward for the implementation, Mr. Ambassador, right? Because one of the other areas we look at is the question of our lab. We're opening a lab, and all of us here would agree that we have some serious concerns as to how we manage this lab in a manner that would create the impact that we all would like it to create. Do we have the staffing for it? And based on discussions we had in Cuba, we're looking at two options. One is for the Cuban government to send on technical people to train us as we go along. And again, they have agreed to provide opportunities for our individuals who go up to Cuba to be trained. Because we all here would agree, those of us working in the ministry, that there is need for some serious human resource development in the ministry. Serious human resource development in the ministry. It's not the ministry that we knew in the past, right? Yes, we're employing new officers, but the level of training is still have a risk. So we must continue to train our officers to give them the confidence so that they can go out there and interact with our farmers. Just last night and the night before, I was on 2 talk shows, and people was lamenting the fact that where are the extension officers? What's happening to the Ministry of Extension officers? They call new spin and the same thing. So we should not bury our head in the sand and say that we have a challenge. And for us to solve a problem, we have to agree and appreciate we have a problem. And it's not the problem of the staff coming in, it's a problem of we as the ministry, what can we do? And I'm happy that based on our visit, Mr. Ambassador, that there are opportunities for us to train our officers in Cuba, be it on the work training where you bring down your technical people and we accommodate them, or the other option is for us to send people up there to be trained. So I'm really looking forward to signing this MOU, and I'm happy that we are doing it before you leave, and I'm happy that your government has seen the need to give support, despite the many challenges that you're faced with, to give support to us in Saint Lucia, and as a country, we'll continue to give the support that we can to see that Cuba develop also. Because we have our own experiences. It's a question of exchanging our own experiences and see how we can collaborate in the region. I also want to place on record, if you allow me, to our appreciation to our ambassador in Cuba.
Yes.
Dr. Fontenelle, because she did a lot of work accommodating us. She did a lot of work following up with your ministry in Cuba to see to it that we are where we are today. So I just want to place on record our appreciation to the work that she has done, and I'm hoping that she will continue to give the support. And finally, the team that went up to Cuba, I want to say thank you very much for accommodating me and giving me the advice, and of course guiding the ministry and guiding the discussions in the technical manner that were required, and that's why we are here today finalizing the process. So thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much, PS. Thank you all that have been here this morning for this ceremony. Brief, but very, very important. Yes. Thank you.
So at this stage, I will now hand over the MOUs to the minister and the ambassador so they can sign and exchange as we continue the ceremony.
That's the moment we'll be waiting for. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Thank you again.